fast breaking meal. I do OMAD fasting. I'm doing OMAD fasting for 5+ years, at least 300 out of 365 days per year for at least 5 years now. So I do OMAD fasting. OMAD, what is OMAD fasting? If you're asking what OMAD fasting is, OMAD is an acronym that stands for one meal a day, which means I eat on one time per day, which also means that I fast on 20 hours per day. So I do OMAD fasting and supplementation. So what's my diet lifestyle like? Being in really good shape, having six-pack abs at 36, which is very rare. As a matter of fact, I have a six-pack plus. I have like an 8-pack. But these two muscles up here, they make an 8-pack. They're kind of subtle, and so I'm still calling it a 6-pack, okay? And if the muscles up here turn a little bit bigger, I'm calling it an 8-pack. So I got a 6-pack at 36, which is very rare. Only 1 in 25,000 men above 35 years old, I think the statistic is, have a 6-pack. It's 0.000, I think, 4%. So it's less than 1% of males above 30 that have 6-pack abs. And visible abs, 6-pack or 4-pack or 8-pack. The reason is that too much belly fat covering the abs. So people have abdominal muscles. They have muscles, but there's too much fat in the way for them to be able to see them. So I'm gonna start cooking today's fast breaking meal. And if you're a Christian, you can learn God's health fitness wisdom from me. That I've been teaching. Being a Christian, God has blessed me with health fitness, wisdom, knowledge, and insights. And that's helped me to stay in shape and improve my health, mental, physical health. If you're a Christian, you can learn how to prosper in your health. You can learn how to improve your health, mental, physical health. If you have a problem, like you're overweight, for example, looking to lose fat, you can learn from me. So you can learn how to improve your mental, physical health if you're a Christian, or not a Christian. And the reason I know what I know, that results in a real physique, despite being a target of a secret persecution program called GameStop that works to target my body, my finances, and my life. Like, obviously. So here's my argument. Make it simple. I'm in really good shape, okay? I have a physique that women vote is the most attractive one, Born to Beast, the article. And most women vote for this physique, not the vote that are huge or bigger body. This is the most voted for physique, the women vote that's the best body, I understand. See, that's the most attractive one. And according to statistics, only 1 in 25,000 men above 35 years old have visible abs. And I have a 6-pack at 36. So I'm clearly in really good shape. And people can try to gas up and move the goalposts, but no, Mike, you're not in good shape because you don't have the mass that Rich Piana had, therefore you're not in good shape, Mike. No, okay, I'm in really good shape, okay. And it's a healthy physique to aim for if you fall short of it, than trying to get as huge as Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, which will require you to do bad things, okay, do things that are risky, like PED use, which I don't recommend. So on YouTube, it's like, I'm not recommending not to do hormone because some people might have a doctor saying you need it, okay, but what I'm not recommending is people start sourcing roids and doing it to themselves by a doctor prescription, and they end up doing too much. There's a lot of people that have health problems. So I don't recommend people to do meth. I don't recommend people to do roids, okay? I don't recommend people to smoke crack, okay? See, so now it's like, oh, well, I'm not recommending that as a doctor giving medical recommendations. But it's like I'm not recommending people to smoke crack or do meth or pump roids into themselves. So if you're a person that you have testicular cancer, and then the doctor goes, you got low testosterone, so we're administering TRT to you, and you got a prescription and the doctor gives you some hormone therapy. I'm not saying that you should not, but what I'm talking about is, if you're a young guy, don't start like injecting testosterone into yourself without a doctor's prescription, chasing some unhealthy ideal, fake ideal, like I'm trying to get like Rich Piana and then everybody knows that those guys, they do roids, okay, and you just start doing it because there's side effects and risks associated. So what I promote is healthy health and a real true ideal, with a healthier physique that according to science is more attractive to women, and that's a significant metric. And it's like I've had idiots go, say, if you care about women, it's like I'm a married man, I have a woman, understand? So it's not that I'm arguing because I'm trying to sleep around, okay? I'm married, I don't try to get laid with people, not my wife, okay? I'm waiting until I can meet my wife. I'm in a long relationship and to get married, and if you understand, have a family and this partner, as you have a wife, kiss and hug and whatever else, you get the idea. So I'm not trying to sleep with women. So the reason that I mentioned that metric, attractiveness to women, is not because I'm promoting that you should try to sleep with as many women as possible, so get as attractive as possible. No, it's just a metric. Do you understand? It's like women are attracted to power, women are attracted to the best man that they can get. Women go for the best man they can get. You go this different strata like competence, IQ, social status. It's like where do you score in hierarchies? Like, are you the boss of a company, you'll be more attracted to the average woman than if you're the lowest level guy. Like if you're Elon Musk, fat, ugly with a dad bod, you'd be more attractive than if you clone Elon Musk and the same physique, person and everything, but he works at Tesla sweeping the factory floor. To a lot of women be more attractive because you're higher status in this hierarchy. Okay? So a meaningful metric is sexual market value, meaning physical attractiveness level to women, which means how attractive you are. And women vote for my physique as the ideal one. Okay? So anyway, my point is this. I'm not about looks maxing, I'm about health fitness maxing. And if you work to improve your health and live healthier and learn health fitness truth and apply it as a welcome side effect, you will improve your attractiveness. Do you understand? I have before and after picture of myself where I look younger and better now than I did 10 years ago, 2016. Okay? So I haven't been, it's like maybe I should have helped me go if I got into looks maxing content, okay, all these years. See, and be a handsome guy that talks about looks maxing. And got before and after pictures looking like 90% better or something. Do you understand? But I say I'm not about what's sensationalistic and popular and then do that. It's like I'm about being authentic and like what I care about is what I care about and then talk about. And what's needful and what I actually believe in is like, yes, it's like I grow slower on YouTube by talking about Jesus intermittently and how to get saved and that most people are headed for hell. But I still keep doing it because it's not that above all else work to grow on social media, okay? So the things that I do that I know is like that's hurting my growth on social media and get hurt audience retention. Like a lot of times if I have 20 people watch live, I start talking about you're all going to hell unless you believe in Jesus, but the people go up and becomes from 20 to 8 or something like this. So it's like, that doesn't mean that I stop doing it. I mean, it's like I'm authentic, feel like talking about Jesus sometimes, and I'm not going to just go about what's popular and do it. So here's the point. I mean, I don't do what most people are doing. Was it 70% of people got vaccinated during COVID, and I didn't get vaccinated. So I'm not a person who goes like, what are most people doing right now, then do it. Okay. Most people got vaccinated during COVID. I think I asked ChatGPT on statistics, said around 70% of Swedes, I think it was. And I think it was around 70% of Americans. They got the COVID jab, like vaccinated during COVID for COVID. And I didn't. Okay. Another thing that most people have been doing, that I have been doing, is voting. Okay. Most people vote. I don't vote. Okay. It's like most people think that vitamins are expensive urine. Well, most. A lot of people will say that just buying supplements makes for expensive urine. And you just pee it all out. And they will think that this guy is like wastes his money investing in supplements as much as he does. It's like he spends this much money a month on supplements. And he's just making expensive urine. There's a lot of people that believe that. And like the average person, there's a lot of people, I'm not willing to say most, but like a lot of people think that supplements are kind of waste of your money, okay, and that it makes for expensive urine. So here's the point. I'm a person that doesn't go what's popular and then do it. It's like what's meaningful, significant, true. It's like what's really uh, important to me is what I end up being about and then talk about it and stuff. Okay. Like another example would be, uh, I don't know if you paid attention to my channel, you can search gaming and you see me do live gaming where I go live and spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours playing video games, and that's the lowest performing content. The highest performing content is my exercise streams, shirtless, if I'm shirtless, and if I'm exercising, doing martial arts, or streams where I'm in here exercising, lifting weights, that's the top performing content. And clips from those streams are the top performing shorts, okay? If I clip streams like this and make a short and upload it, that performs a lot better than a short on my burns or on my food or anything else, okay? So that doesn't mean, oh, okay, stop doing all the other stuff and like, it's like put all your chips powder on the most growth inducing content. No, because I'm a person that likes to produce content. I like to play video games sometimes. And I like to do things that I'm doing privately, publicly. Meaning it's like I'm gonna play video games, and I like to, if I'm gonna play video games, make a stream out of it. And I play video games, and I'm also playing video games in a stream, where I'm streaming to Twitch and or Rumble and YouTube as I play video game. My point is this: those type of streams that I've been doing consistently all the time are the lowest performing ones. Which means it's like I go live, play video games, 0 viewers, stay 0 viewers a lot of time. And it's like I spend 6 hours playing video games, and the stream is like you got 8 viewers on the stream, okay? Versus streams like this, if I stay like 3 hours and exercise, I won't be surprised if I have 600 views before the live stream is finished, okay? Versus 6 if I spend 3 hours playing video games, okay? Do you understand? That doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop doing it. Then from a certain perspective, it might even be heard in the channel because there's a lot of content that people don't spend a lot of time watching it if I do it, okay? And some people might even unsub because it's like I subscribe for the fitness stuff. This guy just plays video games all the time, and it's not just so you say I got bored with the video games. I don't want to be. So, but here's the point. So my point is this: be as I am this way, especially if you're a Christian. Life, you shouldn't leave it as a popularity contest, okay? Now, if you're looking, a less bad way to look at it is, in the marketplace of ideas, I have the truth, I have better ideas. And I work to compete. There's people believing lies about health, fitness, and I can be more effective. And if I give a better product, if I'm better at teaching people how to lose fat than the average fitness influencer, it's like, yeah, I'd like if I can go by that. By being better than them at teaching people health, fitness. And now they say, what is that? If you have metrics of success, then that might be like, I'm getting a lot of views on this stream so far, this or whatever. So anyway, that's the point. I'm a Christian, told the video. I'm the total of a secret persecution book called Gangs of videos. I was born in 1989 and I live in Oxelösund, Sweden. Summer of 89. I was born in the summer of 89. Okay. No, it says, look, I was born 1989. Okay. I've been very young and now I'm older. Okay. Or less young, depending on how you look at it. 36 years old, living in Sweden, being a Christian, having life. Okay. So he that hath the Son hath life. He that hath not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abide on him. The verse goes. So I have life, okay? And the Mike Sal Swedish person is not as the other Swedes are, for he's lively, quickened, and okay. So I'm a saved man, understand? And most Swedes are lost, children of Satan, whereas I'm a saved Christian, as opposed to a lost one, okay? So here's the point. Yeah, so here's the point. If you're a person who's interested in health, fitness, you can learn. I can teach you. I can help people improve. I have competence, knowledge as a reader. I've been more valuable as a YouTuber than Ben Asadi. If you look at Ben Asadi's channel the last 6 years and Mike Sal on YouTube the last 6 years, I've been more valuable to people that are like, I'm looking for YouTubers to learn from how to be healthier and fitter. And I'm bold in that because I'm sure I'm true. One of the topics of discussion that I've been covering on my YouTube channel is vitamin C mega dosing. Okay, talk about that. Okay. And Ben Asadi who's got more followers, 1 million plus subs. People that have been subscribed to him would have heard about vitamin C megadosing like they would have from me until he invited Tom Levy as a guest on his podcast. And people heard about vitamin C megadosing from a guest he had on like 1 year ago or so. Whereas you would have heard it if you simply keep an eye on Mike's channel, if you're into health fitness. You would have heard about this health fitness topic, vitamin C megadosing, as a health fitness topic of discussion. I said, okay, if you would listen to me all these years. There's people that never heard about vitamin C megadosing until Susan Humphrey showed up on Rogan's podcast as a guest, 1.5 years ago, 2. And if they Google, she's like numbers. I don't know. Let's say if I go look how many views that episode has now, Susan Humphreys. Let's say it's 600,000 views in that episode. Out of those 600,000 people, maybe 6,000 people within a month of seeing the episode Googled Susan Humphreys. Okay? Maybe out of those, what did I say, 6,000? Okay? Maybe 600 researched enough to find videos of her talk about vitamin C and how humans can produce themselves and how goats they can produce and retain the ability produce this much per body weight as it is, of vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Okay? And then maybe from that, they Google vitamin C megadose stuff like this, they find Andrew Saul's website or Tom Levy videos and hear about titration bowel tolerance as a topic of research. Okay? Whereas people would have heard this explicitly taught by me 6 years ago if they would have followed me on YouTube. See? Okay. So, I count myself as more valuable as a health fitness teacher just because I've been covering the topic of cat concentration bowel tolerance protocol on my channel since getting on YouTube. Okay. I've been covering teaching people. I've been part of my health fitness teacher has been I recommend people to stop using hygiene home clean parts that are fragrance perfumed. Okay. And now I see it all the time. Open up Instagram, some viral post posted yesterday. It's like fragrance products. Okay. And there's a lot of people that are, wow, this is good. They could have heard about that 6 years ago if they would have found my SAHA on YouTube. Okay. See. So I enjoy being. So notice how my style is not just, oh, what's sensationalistic, I'm the best or something like this. No, it's like I'm about the truth. So I mean the competence elite. I'm one of the most valuable health fitness influencers on YouTube. The most competent, most valuable to people. All these years I've been there. If people are looking to learn how to improve their health fitness, I've been more valuable to people looking to learn about this than Ben Azadi, than Joe Rogan, than Greg Doucette, Mike Israetel, Ben Azadi. Okay. Now, less valuable, that they've been less valuable, doesn't mean that they had no value at all. Okay. And one of the things that make Ben Azadi less worthless than a lot of other, so it's like a sliding scale, super valuable, super worthless, and less worthless than the average person is having Tom Levy on, okay, as a guest. Which means it's not just about what's explicitly taught in the video we had Tom Levy on, but also what people can find if they Google Tom Levy and look at Tom Levy's website and his Instagram and podcast interviews with Tom Levy in other places. And the things that they can learn will be things that I've been teaching for years, understand? Okay. So I reference other people. Part of being a true scientist is referencing other people's work, okay? That's actually part of it. Now you shouldn't have like if you're a health fitness teacher, just be, oh, look what this guy said, okay? But if you're a Christian teacher, you go, there's a guy called Later Flowers who talked about how cabbies are wrong or something like this. He made this point that I agree with something like this. Okay. But it shouldn't be like all that. It's like, I'm a Christian teacher. Here's look at this commentary book that somebody wrote about Christian theology. And just period. Or like go, hey, look at this video somebody else made teaching Christian doctrine. I agree with that guy. It's like how you teach now. You're like a guy who's just recommending other teachers pretty much. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. Here's another thing in God's providence and God's care for me as a Christian. I believe that it's thanks to God I've been blessed. Where it's like it's rare I had to tell other Christians about vitamin C megadosing as a topic. Vitamin C megadose as opposed to microdosing, meaning taking a lot less than the RDA. Okay, I will count that as vitamin C microdosing. Okay, which is like what the day is, what they say, how much many milligrams of vitamin C, and people, if they go, I'm just going to take 100 of that, I would call that microdose of vitamin C. A megadose of vitamin C is taking sufficient adequate amounts, working to get as much as you need every day, and that's what I call megadosing, as opposed to microdosing, which means that people that are working to get a lot less than what the order says, okay? Whereas I'm focused on getting as much as you need on a daily basis of vitamin C, and that's opposed to microdosing is megadosing. So megadose is taking a lot of vitamin C, meaning enough to have a difference, to make a serious difference in your health. Okay, and it's like this ways I talk about health fitness on YouTube, and it can be different than how I talk about on Rumble. So my Rumble channel, Max Health Fitness. Okay, so it's more of a art form of how to talk about things on YouTube. Kind of impromptu teaching here, and I had to figure out on the go. It's like how far can I go talk about this and that and stuff like this. So anyway, support. I'm incredibly valuable to the average Christian. I haven't seen any other Christian, faith-long kingdoms only Christian, who's as valuable to the body of Christ in protecting you physically from harm. But I teach you, like, here's what most people are doing. It's bad, stop doing it. And here's something that you can start doing that's good for your health. I've been warning about root canals for years becoming infected. I would be surprised if Tom Segal has a few root canals to a Bible church. And I haven't heard him make videos talk about how root canals can become infected. Okay? Do you understand? So that's another thing I've been talking about, how root canals can become infected, and recommend a low sugar diet. And the reason a lot of people end up getting a root canal, getting a tooth infection, a cavity tooth infection, and sometimes you get a root canal because they had a tooth infection, it's because of high sugar diet. So if the average American Swede would go to 20 minus grams of sugar per day, statistically year by year you have less root canal procedures done, less tooth infections resulting in root canal procedures done. If people who have been taking my advice, go on low sugar diet. Less sweets and treats, don't drink sugary liquids and stuff. You have less tooth infections and less root canals needed to be done. Well, needing, this is a different topic, like, does it happen that dentists give people root canal and they didn't need one? Like some bad dentists is just like, oh, so you need a root canal. And then a second dentist will go, no, this guy doesn't need a root canal. Okay. See, but here's the point. So my point is this. Is this the first guy I'm going to block now? Yeah, I'm not here to talk to people in the chat. Okay, most of the time I purposely ignore the chat and I don't look at it. So anyways, the point. I'm not here to make friends and chat with people. I'm here producing content. I'm here teaching. I'm here producing art. I'm here to do stuff. I'm here to sing, dance, whatever I feel like doing. Cooking, teaching, exercising. And I don't go live to wait for comments to talk to people in the chat, okay? So people can leave comments. A lot of people get blocked. And sometimes if people leave comments that if I see them, I'll respond to them, okay? So anyway, here's the point. As I was saying, I credit God with the fact that I've learned what I know about vitamin C, okay? And if you hear me talk about Tom Leaf and reference him when I'm teaching health fitness, it's not that I learned vitamin C megadosing, learned about that, but because I found Tom Levy. I discovered vitamin C megadosing. I kind of like that providence, God's hand in my life. That God made sure that I heard about vitamin C megadosing. Okay. And I got into megadosing vitamin C in my early 20s, and I'm 36 today. So in this session, I'm going to start cooking. And we'll see what we do. What we do, we get this here. I put this here. This is where I roll my cigarettes. I have a tray of tobacco here. And I roll my papers, I roll my cigarettes here. So some background stuff here. We're gonna start cooking today's all my fast food meal. People can learn from me how to be stronger, fitter, healthier. Or you can listen to less competent people and believe that they know better when they don't. Okay. I've been saying that people that want to improve their health should eat less sugar. And there's some fitness influencers so-called on YouTube, or sugar is not a problem. Okay, some people say sugar is a problem. Sugar is not that bad. You need sugar is good for you, understand? So you can pick who you believe. And I know the truth. So I'm highly competent in health techniques. And if you have an interest to improve your mental physical health, you're looking to lose fat, that's another thing I've been teaching. If you're looking to improve your mental physical health and be less likely to die from a health problem, you better off listening to me. You listen to me and take my advice. And I recommend that you subscribe to my Rumble. Critical Mass Mike. No, Mike's Health Fitness. I got a new Rumble channel. Mike's Health Fitness. This is rice. You gotta rinse the rice out. You want to rinse the rice out because rice can contain trace amounts of arsenic or around trace amounts. I'm not joking, I didn't make this up. You can Google search rice, arsenic in rice. So I do recommend people to rinse the rice out if you're consuming rice, especially if it's a regular food item. I mean, if you like it's part of your diet, it's like a staple item, you eat a lot of rice, clean the rice, okay? So, we bring this to a violent boil, cover with the lid and turn on the heat. So I don't do speed cooking typically. If I want something fast, it's happening a few times. So a lot of times, from starting to cook until I finally get to eating, a lot of times it's like around 4 hours or so. From starting to cook until breaking my fast. Now some of that time can be after the food is cooked, turn it down to like a stay warm temperature in the oven or something like this. And then I wait until I'm ready to break my fast and have the omelet meal. But I don't do like speed cooking really. It's kind of rare. And a lot of times I end up spending like 2 hours cooking or more. Now it's not constantly be in the kitchen cooking for 2 hours straight. So a lot of times it's like boil this, once that's boiled, turn down the heat, put some more stuff in there. And sometimes like, okay, turn down the heat just to stay warm temperature. Like the lowest level you can have this stove to, so just keeps it a bit warm. And then wait until I'm ready to break my fast. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna get some. Yeah, so basically, if you're interested in health fitness, you want to improve your mental physical health, you can learn so from me. You can learn how to improve mental physical health. You can learn how to lose fat, get in better shape, improve mental and physical. That's coconut oil. Put some coconut oil in there. Staple fat, organic coconut oil. Then we're going to throw in some salt. This is a blend, a mix of sea salt and Himalayan pink salt. And this type of plain white table salt, I use this to make mouthwash. So what I use for mouthwash is salt water, and also use it to clean my sinuses. And this is my cooking salt. So you could say external use only is what I use it for. But it's imprecise because it goes into my sinuses. That's kind of inside of my body. Like his okay, like my mouth. It's like that's what do you count? If you put something in your ear, is that external use or internal use? Because it's like an orifice and it's like a hole in your body, like your eardrum, ear canal. But here's the point. I use this for mouthwash. I make what I use for mouthwash. I make salt water basically. I boil water and make a liter of salt water and use that to mouthwash and nasal rinses. And this is the type of salt that I use for that. Just plain white iodinized table salt. And for cooking, I like to use natural salt, Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, the natural salt. Okay, so this is a 50-50 mix of Himalayan pink salt and sea salt. So it's nothing more than sea salt flakes or something like this, but it is like natural salts. Brought this to a bowl. That's why I put in about a third of a teaspoon of coconut oil and a pinch of that salt mix there. So one of the benefits, few benefits of carbohydrates is that my diet has been more focused on protein and fats. Okay, I care more about that. So I'm getting a lot of protein and fat in my meals and not really like I need a lot of carbohydrates. So some benefits of carbohydrates, they aid hydration. Carbohydrates, they aid hydration, which means a common problem people on the keto diet, especially if you do OMAD keto like I've been doing, is struggling with hydration, meaning soaking up and holding on to liquid. So if you do what I do and you do fasting and one of the struggles you might have is hydration, where carbohydrates help you to absorb and hold on to liquid. So people on the OMAD keto diet a lot of times have issues with dehydration and need to figure out how to hydrate better. So one of the benefits of carbohydrates is they aid hydration. Another benefit is some carbohydrates, it's like dietary fiber. It's like corn tortillas, it's fibers, okay, starchy fibers. And fiber has its part in the diet. So it's like if I buy corn tortillas, for example, and have that part of the omelet meal, there's some fiber in there, okay? And if I have just a steak and eggs and fat, there's not a lot of fiber in there. But if I have some corn tortillas, if I would have a meal, eggs, steak, and fat, speak of which, I'm actually going to add 3 eggs to this. With the multiple. Yeah, so one of few benefits of carbohydrates, aids hydration and can be a source of fiber. So carbohydrate-rich foods like potatoes, corn tortillas, things like this. There's a source of fiber, dietary fiber. So I put 3 eggs in there. I'll turn on the heat to level 1. And I'm gonna put some of this Macahenico Tabasco brand scorpion sauce. Tabasco scorpion sauce, here's extra hot sauce. You gotta be careful with this. Put 3 drops. 3 holy drops of that. Put the heat down to level 3. Now I'm checking to feel if the rice started sticking to the bottom of the pot. So adding that coconut oil, if the water evaporates, that can give you some time to keep the food from sticking. If I'm boiling pasta, gluten-free macaronis, or rice, and the water evaporates, it gets dry, having a little bit of fat in there can make a difference in how long it takes before it like burns stuck to the bottom of the pot, sticks to the bottom of the pot. And yeah, basically it helps with that. Put some fat in there. Because water will evaporate, but the fat will not evaporate. So the coconut oil that I put in there even if you boil away all the water, the fat will remain in the pot. You heard about the expression before, most likely that's what it all boils down to. So you boil down to fat. The water can evaporate, but the fat will stay in there. Actually, let's keep high temp cooking. Turn up to level 5. Hello, Grunch. I missed him. Okay. I miss you, Grunch. I saw that after ignoring the chat for a while, I went to check the chat. I saw Grunch was in here. Hello, Grunch. Now it becomes pointless. Where this is a guy, if I saw him leave comments, but if I had seen him leaving comments live, I would respond to the comments right away, most likely. But now, after the fact, oh, Grunch was in here before leaving comments. Now, if I start responding to his comments now, he's not watching anymore. It feels kind of pointless, but still, Grunch was in here before. He wrote, hey, Mike. Hello, Grunch. And I know this guy from other communities. The gym, heavy bag, and total body work after 10 km run. That's not bad. Try to become the best athlete that I can. That's not bad, okay. And that's a goal to aim for. Then, if you would have told me I'm working for Mr. Olympia, okay, I'm pumping voice, okay, and getting today, and I'm working to bulk up and get 40-inch biceps or something like this. I'll be like, well, okay, is that whatever you say, if that's what you want to do, whatever. But here's the point. So I know this Grunge track from other communities. I know him from Dream, which Dream is, I don't like him, okay? And there's so many red flags with Dream. I actually left a hater comment, so-called hater comment, one of his videos. We uploaded a video like worshipping Odin and stuff. And I wrote a comment like, I said, oh, and you say you're a Christian, like a laughing emoji. Because this guy's like, I've given my life to Christ or whatever, I'm a Christian now. Do you understand? It'd be like a person goes like, I'm a Christian, okay, I found Christ. And then you see them upload videos worshipping Allah or Buddha or something like this. It'd be like, I thought you were a Christian, why are you uploading these worshipping Buddha videos all of a sudden? So I saw a Green leave a comment, and I actually left the comment. I thought you were a Christian, okay. And he said you were a Christian or something, it's in a laughing emoji. Because he's been saying he's a Christian and found Christ and became a Christian, yada yada. And then I saw him upload a post worshipping Odin, okay. So, yeah, I've seen Grunge, I've seen his workouts. So Grunge is a person that works out. And I've seen his, he uploads shorts sometimes when he's running. And I've seen a few of his videos hidden the bag in the gym. So sometimes people come into my chat claiming to be doing stuff. So in the middle of an exercise gym, you come in, Mike, I do 100 push-ups a day. And if I'm doing pull-up, I can do 1,000 pull-ups. Okay, that's access an anonymous person. But this Grunge person, if they claim to be doing physical stuff, what he's claiming to do, I've seen him do things that I don't see YouTube channels. He's been hitting the bag. I've seen him hit the bag before, and I've seen him do runs. Okay, and where he uploads clips out running. So, and like I said before, if people are looking to improve their skill, health, athleticism, the missing piece for a lot of people is proper supplementation. So for a lot of people, there's a big missing piece of being disciplined, okay? It's like it's a personality. They're lacking like a personality. They need to build a muscle of discipline. Do you understand? So a lot of people, if they're gonna start exercising, they need to become a person that can make themselves do things that are hard to do. A lot of people lack that ability. A lot of people are like out of shape. They lack the ability to exercise and feel bad exercising. But with people that are already exercising and have like proven that they have some discipline and the ability to enjoy hardness and do something that's like physically hard to do for some time and be consistent with it. A more common problem is lacking knowledge on supplementation, knowing how much vitamin C you need, and magnesium and D3K2 and things like this. So if you're not taking supplements, I recommend supplements too. And you can watch my Rumble channel, Mike's Health Fitness, because that's where my health fitness teacher videos go. They're like focus on health fitness teaching. Go on YouTube. I don't like teaching health fitness too much because I can't really do it in depth. And people who exercise have a high need for vitamin C that people don't exercise. I don't have to know about everything else, like grunge. If he's smoking, if I would guess, I don't think he's a smoker, okay? If he's drinking now and then or not, okay? I don't know if he eats a lot of sweets, if he eats candy on the regular. But just from what I know, that he exercises frequently, he's gonna have a high need of vitamin C than if he had a twin that was having the same lifestyle but wasn't exercising. I mean, they were like the same person, living the same lifestyle, there's just one area that was different. They weren't exercising. So now, interesting enough, it's like both are true. It's like people that are not exercising, they need vitamin C. But people are exercising, they need more vitamin C than people not exercising, because you give yourself inflammation when exercising. If you have soreness, that's an indication you have inflammation. So if you've been out running, you got sore knees or ankles after coming home, or you're exercising, you got sore shoulders, you're feeling inflammation. I'm gonna have to do disclaimers, even though I've been holding back, because I still feel the need to do a disclaimer now. So, nothing I've said in this live stream is to take as medical advice information. It's purely my personal belief and opinion about things, not necessarily to take as a fact. Talk to a doctor, a licensed physician, before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, supplementation, and or medication. Talk to a doctor before starting to or stopping to take any supplements or medications. So, yeah, so Grunge was in a wrote, hey Mike, gym heavy bag and total body workout after 10-kilometer run. So that would be a metric mile, 10 kilometer. That'd be a metric mile. In Swedish it's called mil, en mil. Okay, 1 mile, en mil. And that's 10 kilometers. So that would be a metric mile. It's like there's metric tons and there's non-metric tons. And there's pounds, and there's miles, and there's nautical miles, and there's this, okay. So that'll be a metric mile. It's not bad. And he's trying to be the best possible athlete that he can, which I believe is a healthier goal than I'm trying to become the biggest guy I can be. Do you understand? I talk about that a lot and please in the stream. Like healthy ideals and like aims. If you're into health fitness and people are like, I'm gonna start exercising, people already are exercising and they're looking for like, I'm already exercising and I'm looking to improve in this and that way. Okay, so what would a healthy ideal be aim according to me? If a person has been exercising and they go, I like to lose belly fat, I'd be like, yeah, that's a good goal, see? Because you'd have to overeat less. You'd have to, do you understand? It's like, that's a healthy idea. If somebody's exercising, I'm trying to lose belly fat, that'd be a healthy aim for a male. I'm exercising, already exercising, I'm looking to lose belly fat. Okay. Or aiming to be more athletic. If you already have athleticism, where you can run and you can do sit-ups and you can do squats and you can do pull-ups and things like this. You have some athleticism. You're looking to improve your athleticism. I consider that a healthier goal, a better aim than to be. I'm gonna become the biggest dude I ever been. I'm gonna have 60-inch arms, and I'm working towards getting a rich piano physique. It's like see all my talk about videos what my opinion that is. That's an unhealthy aim. Now here's the point too. I'm for it's like it's like there's general terms and there's outliers and like fringe stuff. So if a person is like my calling and destiny is I've always dreamed and since a child I had on my heart to be Mr. Olympia and my father was Mr. Olympia or something like this pro bodybuilder IFBB pro or something like this and on his dying breath he said son make me proud to become a bodybuilder and it's like I've always had the dream to be a pro. It's like all the like outlets is like okay this is sacrifice okay you sacrifice longevity to get that huge. I'm not joking. I mean, if you have an athletic build, you're more likely to make it to 100 than if you get huge, bodybuilder huge or fat huge. Okay, you less like ask your doctor about obesity and all-cause mortality, and being huge like a extreme bodybuilder type of physique, and ask is like would I be more likely to make it to 100 if I just get lean and athletic versus huge muscles or huge fat, okay? And I believe that a lot of doctors, if not like most of them, would tell that no, it's for longevity, you're more likely to have a long life if you don't get huge, like a pro bodybuilder, and if you don't get huge fat, okay? So, anyways, the point. In general terms, it's better to have an athletic physique, have a lean athletic physique. It's just better. Okay, it's better for performance, it's better for longevity, it's better for attractiveness. Okay. Now, if somebody is like, they have a dream or something like this, like that's my calling and my destiny and purpose, and it's like, it's like that's what I'm aiming. Okay, for that person, if they feel like that's the purpose, they call it whatever, that's the dream. Maybe for that person it'd be worth it to aim for that physique. But for most people it's not something I recommend aiming for. Somebody wrote before that, how did you find out the truth? By seeking it. And by responding to the truth favorably that was already available to me. So how do people find the truth? The truth is out there, okay? The truth is, people have enough truth that if they just accept the truth that's already available to them, they have improvement. So how did I find the truth? By accepting the truth that was available to me and by seeking more truth, okay? So by responding to truth already available to me and acquire more truth. So by seeking the truth. By wanting the truth. What I'm doing now is removing the eggs from the pot with a fork. So obviously I'm not dipping my fingers in the boiling water. So I'm using a fork to scoop up eggs. And then I'm rinsing it in the cold water. This is so hot that I can't do the whole thing now. Burn myself. So let's switch to our vacuum here. And here's the rice. A lot of times I cook under a lid, and this time I'm not. Let's scoop this up, rinse it off. Scoop this up, rinse it off, cold water, cool it. Oops, I dropped the egg. Let's go to the water. Didn't break. I dropped it in the water. There wasn't water there. There wasn't water there. There we go. Let's raise the heat even more. Let's raise it to 7. Now I'm working with speed rate with evaporation rate to make it light. I'm working to have this water become steamy with the pot. So basically I'm drying it and looking to have the water disappears after start frying. And here's the 3 eggs. So I would say this: if somebody's interested in health fitness, what's more important than your diet and exercising is supplementation. Meaning, what's more important than exercising is your supplementation and diet. What you're eating, what you put in your body and what you're not. Okay? Simple as that. What you put in your body and what you're not in your body is more important than how much you're exercising. So exercising is good. It has its place. But more important than exercising is supplementation. Getting supplementation dialed in and your diet dialed in. There goes. I add some more coconut oil. And with this meal, it's more about what I'm not putting in there than what I'm putting in there. Meaning I'm not adding sugar to it. Stir. So I'm looking to avoid burning the rice that stick to the bottom of the pan. There we go. Okay. And the water is almost completely going. What I'm gonna do now, crack the eggs into it. Inshallah. It's going to burn, I can hear that from the sound. Okay. About 3 eggs in there. If you want to crack them open, you gotta make some noise. If you're a male rooster watching this, or a chicken, like a hen, you know what I'm talking about. Egg making. You want to crack on with that mix of yeah, so anyway, people can learn from me how to improve their health, fitness, mental, physical health. Or you have to take the advice. Hear me give the advice, it's not going to do anything for you. You have to actually take the advice. This is Heinz beans in the rich noodles. Go ahead, yeah. So it looks like actually this hidden by people in the comments, and then before I could start engaging here with my answers, he disappeared on this. So I'm being facetious, and so anyway, here's the point. Speak of which, I listened to a sermon from a sellout church recently talking about the Iraq invasion. And I remember from talking to Grunge before that he was a soldier up there. He was part of the army, he was a Canadian liaison or whatever. So I'm not compromising, okay? So it's like, I'm not gonna pretend that oh, they should view it as if he was part of the Iraq-Afghanistan invasion. So it's like I'm not going to talk about how big that was war crimes and a bullshit war based on false pretext, okay? Where that's the truth, understand? And I don't care if people, there are ex-military machines and abuse people that would like come and like the machines before I start talking about that. Because I live for the truth and I'm not changing it. So I do believe that Nala was an inside job and that the deep state that controlled the US government had kind of advanced, did it, and then launched this evil war of aggression on in Afghanistan based on a false pretext. They lied and used that crisis not just to start a war in Iraq, Afghanistan, and get oil and whatever else I wanted to do, but to de-Americanize America without the extraordinary vision that paid you back with this and that, to make America less American. Okay. Control, deep state control, let's advance the New World agenda. It's like let's attack freedom, let's remove freedom from America for this crisis. Okay. And I stand by that. So I don't find it as a noble war. World War II, yeah, they call it the greatest generation. World War II, that might be the last American war waged behind it. You know, like, yeah, that was noble war. Okay. Meaning people stormed the beach of D-Day normally, fighting the Nazis that want to murder the Jews. Okay, all the Jews want to murder all the Jews in the whole world. It's like, okay, that's a noble war. It's like you find the Nazis that you just leave them alone and don't fight them. They're gonna take over the world and kill all the Jews. Okay, it's like you have to stop these people. It's like World War II. The Vietnam War, bullshit, evil war, unnecessary, a lot of war crimes. Iraq, Afghanistan war, bullshit, unnecessary, a lot of war crimes. So I'm not behind that. And I'm not like raw. It's like if Grand Strike says, yeah, I was in Iraq, it's like, thank you for the service, buddy, you're a great man. So I'm not gonna speak like that, okay? Now, it's not that right and wrong for every either. I mean, I've seen people that are ex-military, like Nick Irving, the sniper I've seen show up in podcasts and podcast clips. And his story is like, yeah, it's like I got conned. I was a young man, I fell for the lies, I joined the war, it was part of the war. And now looking back, I realized it was like bullshit and it's just about all, I think he said. And I regret being part of it or something like this. So. I can feel with the fork that there's some burning at the bottom. Turn on the heat a little bit. Level 3. So 1 can of Heinz beans and tomato sauce, 3 eggs, about a flat tablespoon of coconut oil, Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, about 3 hardy drops of chili sauce. What else I put in there? Rice, obviously. And turn off the heat. Black pepper and turmeric. Yes, turmeric contains curcumin, which is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory ingredient. And black pepper contains piperine, which enhances the absorption of the curcumin in turmeric. So basically, healthy spices that you can incorporate in meals are turmeric, black pepper, and ginger. And you absorb more curcumin from the turmeric if you add black pepper. You understand? If you add only turmeric, you won't absorb as much of the good stuff in the turmeric, the curcumin. As if contrast to if you add some black pepper, which contains piperine. So piperine in black pepper enhances absorption of curcumin in turmeric, and in ginger. So turmeric is a healthy spice. It's an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant spice. Ginger is a healthy spice, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. And you absorb more of the good stuff in the turmeric than the ginger if you add some black pepper. So the piperine in the black pepper then has the absorption of curcumin in turmeric. So if you use a given amount of turmeric in your food, let's say a teaspoon, it has a certain amount of curcumin there, which is good for health, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. You absorb more of that if you add a little bit of black pepper. There's no ginger added here, but there's some other stuff. There you go. Let this cool off. What we're gonna do. And it might take 15, 20, 30 minutes or so if I just leave it here until the bottom of the pot has cooled off enough for me to bring it to my living room desk and put it there without like charring, burning it. Now I'm going to use cold water here to water cool it. And after cooling it, we're going to put it back down rather than say 15 minutes until it's cooled down after put it on the desk. Maybe a bit 3 minutes. Cold water. I don't know if Grunch came by because he saw my comment on Dream's channel. I think Grunch might be subscribed to Dream, and I left a comment on Dream's video. And he might have like clicked off the channel. I don't know if Grunch saw me comment on Dream's upload, and that's why I got Dream's my channel. I don't know. Grunch hasn't got involved on my channel. There's other people from like this drama community that get lost on my channel. One thing get lost on my channel, yeah, okay. It depends on how it operates. Okay. I have this channel. with the headphone. Wow. Yeah. So, get ready to break my fast. Gonna wash my hands now. And here's a earplug, which I'm gonna wash. If you're wondering about, curious about this, these are magnets that hit in my wrist. With the north pole side towards the skin, towards my body. So this is a magnet, and I taped it to my wrist with the north pole side. Need to remind you that I'm washing my hands with natural leper soap and not anti-health, fragrance, perfumed, toxic chemical, gang stuff, okay? So I don't have this perfume fragranced stuff. I use natural leper soap. So I don't know if I don't have to address everything to branches. I think somebody showed up and a person that felt like answering their comments because I know them from before or respond to the comments. But I say he's not watching anymore, so whatever. So here's the point. If you're watching this, here's the natural leper soap. Did you hear me talk about? So I have this bar here, and it's like a shower bar, and then a sink bar, that's a sink bar. They have another bar in the kitchen for washing my hands in the kitchen or the hand washing pots and pans and stuff. So I got a kitchen bar, a shower bar, and a sink bar. Natural leper soap. And I can recommend it to people. Yeah, so grunge track came in here, and grunge 90s music, okay. So he used to be called Grunge Track. I mean that. I don't know if he changed his channel name or got a new channel, but he used to be called Grunge Track. And Grunge wrote, "Hey Mike, gym, heavy bag, and total body workout after 10-kilometer run. Trying to become the best athlete that I can." Okay, so you already had the exercising down, and what I recommend you to do is get supplementation dialed in. Supplementation and diet is more important than exercising, and if it's like I could say it's at least as important. Meaning, if you already have exercising down, I would recommend you to take supplements, the right type of amounts of supplements. So, what you're eating and what you're not eating, what you put in your body and what not put in your body is at least as important for your health fitness as exercising. So since you already have exercising consistently down, I don't have to tell you about. Do you understand? Someone shows up in here, Mike, I'm trying to get more athletic, and I just start exercising. Okay, keep exercising. But somebody's like already exercising, and they look to get more athletic. The most that they can. Well, I know the truth that if somebody's aiming to be more athletic, they should get their diet and supplementation dialed in. And I don't know what he's eating, what he's not eating, but statistically, most likely he's not taking the supplements that I would recommend that he takes. So, anyway, I'm gonna let that cool down, see if I do a yeah, it's cold enough. I'm gonna add yogurt to it. I'm gonna do another clip. So the previous one I counted as a failed one, so it's take 2. So I'm gonna respond to Grunch's call and get a clip, so I can publish it in every him possibly if I feel like it. Okay. So Grunch wrote, hey Mike, gym heavy bag and total body workout after 10-kilometer run. Trying to become the best possible athlete that I can. So you already have the exercising down. If you're trying to become the best possible athlete you can, the missing piece would be supplementation. So subscribe to my Rumble channel, Mike SAHA Health Fitness, and watch the videos and take the advice. Listen to what I teach about diet and supplementation. If you're aiming to be the most athletic, you're aiming to get more athletic. You already have some athleticism, you're looking to get more athletic. You should listen to my teaching on health fitness. Diet supplementation is at least as important as exercising for health fitness. So, Mike SAHA Health Fitness, subscribe to it. Here you go. Here's today's OMAD fast breaking meal. You know what? I'll bring the whole yogurt with me to the kitchen. Or from the kitchen to the living room. I'm live on Rumble Studio. I might do some commentary. Sometimes when I do these fast baking meal streams, I also check out the news and do some commentary. So, here we go. I'm creating a new stream, that close stream here. Yeah, that's pretty bold. So, there you go. I'm creating a Rumble Studio stream here, and it's gonna be like to my Mike SAHA Health Fitness channel, because it's a health fitness. I'm gonna eat my fast breaking meal today, so that falls into category health fitness. I do OMAD fasting, so that's part of my diet, and diet is part of health fitness's topic. Do you understand? So, I might get in some news commentary. Something watching, I'm changing watching videos. See what videos I watch. There's some tincture. And you know what, for this stream I'm gonna make a thumbnail before going live. I'm in a war of what's been waged on me. This gang stalking persecution program targets me with psychological warfare and physical warfare, including but limited to chemical warfare, where I've been sprayed with chemicals, poisoned, shot at with a dart gun. So I'm not impressed by people like raw. They're like stolen valor compared to me. I'm not joking. Like, if grunge music is in here and it's like, don't ask, don't tell. He's not coming here to tell Mike I served in the army, stuff like this. He's just a guy who was in the army, and he's not here to be like Mike. So okay, that's a different thing. But people are like, I'm served in the army, to serve my country, stuff like this. Or you serve the deep state. Understand? Do you understand? There's like people, other people like stolen valor. I'm a real warrior. I'm a Christian man. I have a noble cause. Then after my God giving him rights like the founding fathers. And this bad stuff because I was deceived by the deep state, like, hey, go kill these people in Iraq for bullshit reasons. So I do react to stolen valor. Whereas I look at it as stolen valor. People like, I'm a Marine or something in the US Army, okay. And were you waging war crime wars on false pretext in Iraq and Afghanistan? That's not normal. I'm a Christian, I'm a real warrior. I'm a soldier, I'm a Christian warrior. I'm the target of a war called gang stalking. And I get told with chemical warfare check, psychological warfare. I've been shot with a weapon in the leg by the program. And I mean, that could have been a murder attempt. I do suspect it was a CIA dart gun or something similar. They hit me in the leg with something. And I have a numb spot on my right leg after that. I mean, it could have been a dart gun that survived. So anyway, here's the point. I've been taught about chemical warfare, physical warfare, psychological warfare. This part has been taught me physically and psychologically for years. So a war has been waged on me. And who am I that this war has been waged on? A Christian man. And I'm standing up for my God-given human rights and my freedoms. See? So, that's close to the warrior archetype. Then it's like somebody told me these people I better go kill, and you do it. Which is that the Iraq Afghanistan war simplified. Now, I'm not like really going after grunge in this video, but it's like as top of discussion, grunge showed up, It's like, oh yeah, I remember he said before he was in the army, and I recently saw a video from a SAHA puppet deep state controlled shield church talk about Iraq Afghanistan war. And it's not just about what they talk about, it's what they don't talk about. If I was a pastor running a church and the topic comes up about talk about warfare and how a Christian should fight the good fight, and they start talking about the Iraq war and how there was a retreat in that war, it's like I'm the elephant in the room that they don't talk about is the part of the problem. I'm gonna go and yeah, their war was waged on false pretext. 9/11 was an inside job. The deep state plan advanced, made it happen. Blamed the Muslims, Iraq, Afghanistan, and went to war over there. See, so now I'm for the truth. See, shining my light, being salt and light in this world, having no fellowship with works of darkness. But if an unfit works of darkness, Iraq war comes up, I'm gonna reprove it. See, and it's something that was an unfit works of darkness. It's a cover up. And do you understand? So it's like if the Iraq Afghanistan war comes up, especially as a pastor, I'm going to talk about that. I'd be like, anything was like, oh, there was an incident on the Iraq war where a guy would go, I'm going to go, and the Iraq war was based on bullcrap lies, and the deep state did 9/11, blame these people to go to border, get oil, and get your freedoms in America, to de-Americanize America. Like, a lot of people haven't woken up to that yet. Like the simple truth is like, wait a minute, America was de-Americanized in war. Gotta give up our freedom sometimes. Patriot Act, Guantanamo Bay, extraordinary edition. We're getting out of the books now. We're normalizing that. So now, with the right type of crisis happening here, now we're going to have you give the government the right to spy on everybody. That's an attack on your freedom of privacy for the greater good because of this crisis we had. We need to have the government be able to tap into everybody's phone calls of like this. Let's get that on the books, okay? Patriot Act. What's called extraordinary edition. It's like now we give the government the right to just scoop people up, put them in a black side camp without due process. It's not like they had to go to the Supreme Court to be like, we want this guy to be tortured somewhere for being in Al Qaeda or something. No, it's like without proving that you're an Al Qaeda member, they just scoop you up in a black side camp, say a black side camp in Poland or whatever they have them, and that torture or something like this. And that's what they call enhanced interrogation was normalized to post 9/11. See, now let's have enhanced interrogation tactics, border stuff, which basically is like a fine, sanitized term for torture. Do you understand? I mean, it's like you see in like movies of this, how people got bullied, so they dunked them in like a bathroom and hold them under water or something like this. What do you call that being tortured? Like somebody pushes your head out of water, makes you unable to breathe, that'd be torture. Okay? So, enhanced interrogation. And if I recall the way they did the border board, they put like a cloth on the person's face and wet the cloth so it makes it really hard for them to breathe or something like this. Now, anyway, that's the point. And not necessarily like dumping it, like putting their head underwater. Now, that's the point. That's torturous. So, the 9/11 crisis was used by the deep state to de-Americanize America, where America was a nation founded by the founding fathers on God-given human freedoms. And like the government doesn't have the right to tyrannize you, inspire and do this and that and this and other thing. And the deep state used this crisis to take freedom from you, to give the government the right legally, like the right laws. There's like, okay, the government had the right to spy on you, and they had the right to put you in a black side camp, extraordinary edition. They had the right to torture people with enhanced interrogation tactics. Let's get on the books. So anyway, I'm ready to go live here. I'm gonna start the stream and verify microphone on. Okay. So I verify that is to hit the hard key to turn off the microphone, then see if it's on or off. And I am live. My name is Mike SAHA. I'm a Christian Tony Vito, health fitness teacher, artist, all kinds of stuff. And I am live. I'm getting ready to break my fast with today's OMAD meal. And I do OMAD fasting, which means I eat only one meal per day. And I'm getting ready to break my fast with today's OMAD meal. So OMAD is actually stands for 1 meal a day. So I'm getting ready to have today's OMAD meal. I got a pot of food in the kitchen, and I'm gonna bring it here, and I might do some. as I'm doing that. Gotta change some make some changes to the chat on the phone stream. Yeah, this person gonna get blocked. Cyberstalking trolls. Weirdo cyberstalking. Grunge is not gonna block at this point. And I'm not officially counting him as a cyberstalker as something by the program. Now, there might come a point where he gets counted as such. Depending, so what determines whether he gets counted as such is his behavior. Okay. And how I elect to respond to that behavior. So, anyway, now there was a person I can tell that is a cyberstalker. They got something here. And another person here. I'm gonna hide it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get the food in the fridge. Get to eating. Well, the food off the stove and the yogurt in the fridge. Okay. This is my kefir natural yogurt. Kultura kefir naturell. So this is probiotic yogurt. This yogurt contains 13 living bacteria strains, probiotic bacteria strains. Fermented. So, this is the yogurt. I use this to make my homemade garlic sauce sometimes. Here's today's OMED fast breaking meal. Pour some yoghurt. Pour some sugar on, no. Pour some sugar on it, no. Pour some yoghurt on it. Pour some yoghurt on it. So we're gonna pull up borders here. Bolivia marks San Roque Festival with dog blessings, costumes. Okay. Face value commentary, false religion. Okay. I'm witnessing false religion here with all the trappist stuff. Funny outfits and stuff. So. Bolivia marks San Roque Festival. Okay, so it is 02:42 local time, 17 August. There might be part of the world where it's the 16th right now. Now, here and now, it's 43 minutes past midnight, 43:15. That's on the seconds, and it's August 2026. Pretty weird. Look at that dog right there. That's a nice dog. Yeah. That's my comment on that. One. Here we go. They had some Catholic priests, I reckon. If I was wrong, that was wrong. No, it's actually the offshoot of some Orthodox who just look like Catholics, but they look like Catholics to me. Catholicism is a false religion. The Bible teaches salvation by faith alone. For by grace are saved through faith, then not of yourselves. It's a gift for God, not of us, of both. And Catholics teach salvation by faith and works. Well, false religion. Whitewashed sepulchres. Whitewashed sepulchres. When these people are clean and they look clean and they got clean clothes and okay. But inwardly they're full of dead men's bones or something like this. Okay. Make first the inside of the cup first. And then that's it, focus on. Okay. Get your sins removed. Get saved. And now you've been made righteous, clean, ready for eternity by God, by faith in Christ. Now you can maybe start caring about, you know what, let's dress nice and stuff. Okay. I mean, it's like a lot of people, like, if you show up with like a dirty hoodie and unkempt hair, people kind of frown upon you going to church. It's like they expect you to put on your Sunday best and like maybe have a dress shirt and a little tie or a bow tie, get your hair did, get a bow tie with this, okay. But it's like you can have all this attire that makes you look pious and righteous and religious, but be a lost child of Satan at the same time. And you can be a person who's gotten saved by the gospel and like sleep in the gutter. Okay, you could. So. Yeah, some Christian talk video on the talk was called gang stalking. Where it accuse people to talk with covert abuse tactics. Covert talking tactics. Covert talking tactics 5 months ago put up to do say weird things about me. People get sent to go away. People get recruited and put up to talk in different ways. I believe that several of the caregiving staff members talking with covert abuse tactics in more home. They've been doing so because they were put up by this gang soccer program to do so. I'm not going to get too specific in the live stream, but I do believe that several of the caregiving staff they have a job to come serve and clean. Okay, the job is to come and clean with me, for me, because I need to. So, the reason I've seen some of them to be covertly abusive is because I believe they were put up by the target, the gang soccer program to do so. Most people are easily enslaved by the deep state into starting to target me for this program. And if somebody starts working for this deep state persecution point, they've been enslaved. Why? Because once they start working for these people, they don't have a choice to stop working. They have to keep taking orders. If somebody has been recruited by the state stock point, start working to target an individual, they can't just stop taking orders from the deep state now. Yeah, so I got bored with this. Let's look at Frentiforno's channel. It's bizarre.
We are going to sue the United States government.
Frentiforno made a big deal about height and being deceptive. The only thing that matters pretty much is height. And if you're a short guy, just give up on trying to get a girlfriend kind of stuff. Which is ridiculous. And he's a guy's like, I'm short, okay, and he's going to sue the U.S. government. And then sue the U.S. government for mandates versus U.S. government
For making.
If you can get Greg Bissett to join the lawsuit, it can help. In terms of he could have finance if someone needs to pay a lawyer for like a class action lawsuit or something. If someone needs to pay a lawyer, Greg Bissett would have the funds.
poisoning of the food supply, and inadequate dietary guidelines. I am ordaining myself the, general of this army of manlets because in my Italian DNA, the Romans, the short guys, conquered all of Europe, and I don't see why we can't do it again. There are more of us than them. There are far more short guys than the tall guys or whoever is in control of society. So, yeah, I think this is the first step. Manlets versus
the Swedish Prime Minister can do the lawsuit because from seeing him, I never checked like the stats, how tall he is, but he appears to be a short man. Anytime I see him next to other people, adult males, he's frequently the shortest guy in the room. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay. See? So it's like I don't like to kind of rain on your parade, but it's like this is a short guy, okay? He's part of the deep state Illuminati. It's like you could say mid-tier Illuminati because he's a puppet prime minister. So he's not going to be the lowest tier. He's not going to be the highest tier, but he might be mid-range. If you divide it into three, like low-level Illuminati, mid-level, high-level, he might be mid-level Illuminati. Okay. Deep state. And notice how he's next to a man, and the guy on the right is Swedish Prime Minister, and he's almost like a full head shoulder. Okay. Here he is shaking hands with a woman, and unless she's standing on some shoulder, and that Swedish woman there. So yeah, he appears way. So, first of all, since this is a tall man conspiracy, some people go with like the deep state, the all Jews or something like this, which is wrong. And if it's gonna go, it's the tall people, and it's not the Jews, which some people go. It's like if they wake up the conspiracies and things being already, the deep state want to get into anti-Semitism and be like it's the Jews. See, like pathetic arguments that you get if you're a Christian, not a truther. Oh, I guess you're a Muslim or something like this because you're not promoting lies about the Muslims, okay? So these people are blaming 9/11 on the Muslims, and then you're not going to lie. So I guess you must be pro-Islam then. But no, I'm pro-truth. Simple July. So maybe you do watch the we watch a Christian gang stalking church, the Bible Church. This is one of these churches, a puppet sellout churches that have taught me with narcissistic double abuse tactics in the videos for the program, for this gang stalking persecution program. On top of that, which is sinful and heresy in practice because they're involved in persecution of the church of of Christ. I'm a saved man, I got saved when I was 20 years old. Okay, which means me being taught with gang stalking, I'm a Christian being persecuted. So if you're a Christian pastor helping this persecution program target me, you're involved in persecution of the church of of Christ. It's like can the finger say I'm not the IDF, I'm not the body, I'm not part of the body, something like this. So it's like, well, I'm a Swedish Christian, not a pastor, so am I not part of the body of Christ then? No, the church, the body of Christ. So on the topic of that, I can teach on that quickly. The church. So there are local churches, church buildings, okay? There's a local fellowship of believers, and you call it church. There's a church. It's a building where believers gather together, and this church, okay? That is the universal church, the body of Christ. Which means if there's a guy in China who's saved right now, and I guess it's gonna be this one, if there's a guy in China that's a Christian, there's a guy in Russia who's a Christian, going to church or not, he's a member of the church, the body of Christ. Okay. And then you can have local churches, like buildings where people gather together to fellowship, like local fellowship of believers, and you call it church and stuff. So this is one of these deep state puppet sellout churches. They have told me for this persecution of cognitive stalking. They're puppet church, the deep state control. And they're also heretical by using a fake Bible, or are full of sanity and all mischief, will thou not cease to put right ways of the Lord. Here's what I teach on this. If a pastor is using anything but the King James Bible as the Bible to teach, do you understand? Simple. If a person is a pastor and they're doing sermons and they're using the NIV or the New King James or the ESV or the NASB 95, they are perverting the right ways of the Lord. Or they are full of sanity and all mischief, will not cease to pervert the right ways of the Lord. So that has application to a pastor using a fake Bible. Because the right ways of the Lord is, if someone's going to be a pastor, they need to have the Word of God and then teach it, okay? Okay, that's starting out basic. So if a person is a pastor and they're having a fake Bible to teach doctrine and preach sermons from a fake Bible, in the Word of God, they're using something that's not the Word of God. They use something that's not the Word of God. That's a way to pervert the right ways of the Lord. The right ways of the Lord are to have a pastor teach the Bible, not have something that's not the Bible and teach out of it as if it was. Okay. So, do the Bible Church or the New King James Church, and they are one of these churches. After the Scottish have been consecrated deep state puppet sellouts. They've been captured by the deep state. They're slaves. Tom Segall is a slave to the deep state. They're slaves to the deep state is what they are. They've been enslaved and captured. And I'm free. But Tom Segall and these other pastors, they started taking orders by the deep state. They're not slaves. They can't stop taking orders. They've been doing dirt for the deep state. They can be exposed by them. If they stop taking orders, the deep state can unalive them. And they can't count on God's protection. So this is to the Bible Church, the Deep State Papa Salat Church. I'm gonna look at the recent video. They use a fake Bible. The Word of God is the King James Bible, and not the New King James. So even if I was wrong on something else I said about them, it's like that thing that I said is wrong enough, okay, for anybody to be able to warn against them. I call them a fake sellout church. Wrong.
Sin is always enslaving. I think there's a lot of self-deception going on in Christianity today that says, you know what? If you don't see yourself, there's a fly buzzing around the pulpit here. If you don't see yourself as a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ, then you're living.
This guy's pathetic. He's a weak coward, and he's been bitch made by the deep state. Okay, female dogman. He's been submitted like a submissive good little boy. He's submitted to the deep state. He's serving Satan by serving satanic fable, as it were. See, he's serving Satan by targeting a Christian for a secret persecution program. See, he's sold out. He's weak. Tom Segall is weak, pathetic, a sellout. He's the sellout in daily movie type of person. And he's one of these puppet pastors. He's a puppet pastor. Tom Segall is a puppet pastor. Tom Segall is a puppet pastor that's controlled by the deep state and captured by them. And one of the things that he's been doing for them is attack me in these videos.
A liberated life, a freedom to do your own will. That is coming from your sinful nature and from the world and from Satan.
We have this available for believers here as part of the members here of DBC. So again, this offering.
And the Savior all the day long. I sing better than these guys. Okay. Oh, the Savior. That's how they sing, kind of. All the day long. Okay. If they're not a weak twerk with like low T energy, effeminate energy and looks, they're gonna be a effeminate way fat as well.
Is for believers in Christ only.
I'm a weak beta. Okay, yeah.
To call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Only weak men. They only have weak men as teachers there. Weak men.
Then they said to him, why do the disciples of John fast often and make prayers, and likewise those of the Pharisees, but yours eat and drink? And he said to them, can you make the friends of that they'd have? Where do we turn and in times?
As far as announcements before our message today, again, as was mentioned in Blake's prayer, let's keep praying for those who have heard the gospel already at the Carleton County Fair the last few days. And then
today. If I want to be cursed by God, if I was a Christian living in, I joined this church and be part of that number. Like join a church that's involved in persecution of the church, that's involved in persecuting other Christians. I'm a Christian, they've been targeted for the secret persecution program. So I will be surprised to reap what you sow. If you're part of a church, supporting a church that's secretly persecuting me, working to give me health problems, working to destroy my life, harass my loved ones, threaten my loved ones. A domestic terrorism church is what they are. They communicated veiled threats against me or violence. Okay, see, they're terrorists. Don't be surprised if God allows you to reap some of the same things that this church have been doing. They've been involved in a secret program, communicating veiled threats, targeting for a program that is also targeting physical warfare. So I'm not surprised when I hear, oh, this guy, the Baptist member had this health problem, that health problem. I'd be more surprised if it didn't happen. Because God can't bless this ministry being a fake Bible using ministry who's also involved in persecuting a Christian.
Day as well. It's the last day of that fair. So please uphold them in prayer, both those who are laboring there to share the gospel as well as those who are hearing it. Also, the special offering for the month of August is targeted towards Grace Global Radio. If you haven't heard of Grace Global Radio before, I would encourage you to just go online, www.graceglobalradio.org, and it's 24/7 radio.
Don't waste your time.
The calendar is going to be, or the schedule is going to be put out very soon.
Do the Bible just a deep state puppets a lot church? They're captured by the deep state. So just like the deep state can get puppet politicians to be shield puppets for them, they also get Christian pastors. So don't be naive enough to think it's like, oh, the deep state can get ministers, prime ministers, and politicians to become a shield deep state puppet for them. But I don't think they can get a Christian pastor to. Of course they can. Unfortunately, most men and Christian men are too weak and cowardly and fearful, and just weak to be able to resist and say no. They're scared to say no. Meaning, however it works to start a portion of work to get them to become a puppet. They're too weak mentally to see the deception, too weak to say no to them.
Days, some longer than that, the entirety of the conference. You can indicate that, if you're willing to do this, on a sign-up sheet right in the back foyer area across from the mailboxes. You'll see it on that little white table there. Please sign up by the 13th of September so we can make plans to match up host families with incoming guest book. It is, in fact, the only book that God has ever given. It is inspired by the Spirit of God. It is quick and powerful, and it will profit us to do this. So let's look at another short section.
Now that's applicable only to the King James Bible in English, not this faith Bible that we read. I made a video on that actually. Let's see if I can find it. I made a video on this topic. Talk about that. I do a better job teaching doctrine sermons in the gospel than Raphael God does, or these people
just in the middle of streets like this, just start preaching something, or like I feel like talking about topic, go live and talk about it. Understand? Then I see most pastors do. I'm not joking. Make videos how to get saved. And if I look at pastors, like, oh, most of them are like adding a prayer to the gospel, so they're not doing as good of a job making video on how to get saved. Okay, like they're not using a lot of Bible verses. Unfortunately, that's the truth now. Then I do a better job than a lot of pastors at preaching doctrine. I'm prepared to, off the top of my head. We did gotta prepare 2 weeks and use AI and have teleprompter, have a script, stuff like this. But I think Gordon uses scripts and AI, I can tell. But he still does a worse job at preaching doctrine.
In the Epistle of Galatians today, in chapter 4, verses 8 through 11, actually we'll backtrack and look at verse 7 as well, as we address this question in this section. Are you, as a believer in Jesus Christ, retreating back to spiritual bondage?
No.
In the form usually of legalism from our past? Or are you growing in the grace and knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? You know that word?
Or into licentiousness. So this legalism is licentiousness. There's people that basically get saved by faith alone. And then they start getting back into a works mentality of, okay, nice point. We will tell people telling you that you shouldn't have discipline as a Christian. And how that's worked. No, Christians should have discipline. If you're a Christian, you should stop doing certain things and do other things. And I'm a Christian, which means there's certain things I should be doing less of, and other things I should do more of. Okay. And where people go, if you go, Christian men should not be watching porn or something like this. Oh, it sounds like legalism. They tell you shouldn't be doing certain things.
Word retreat is a powerful concept. We sometimes use it for like our ladies' retreat, which is in a good context, but oftentimes it's not used in a good context. And it conjures up pictures of soldiers who are already admitting defeat in battle and pulling back. And there have been some infamous retreats in military history. As we think of, for example, Napoleon in 18...
I had a caregiver staff woman in here that was talking with COVID bullet tactics. And she was holding a finger and telling me, don't do this, and just laughed at her like this. And as she walked away, she looked like a retreat. Where she walked away. Okay. See. Well, here's the point. Another thing. I had a cop shop when I was downtown, being harassed, and I had been drinking that day too. And the cops show up, and I was ready to fight the cops, understand, to attack them with violence in self-defense if I needed to. In my drunken stupid, that's the feeling that I had. I'm not threatening or saying I was planning it. But when the cops showed up through them, I had this on the stream. It's like my focus was just on this one cop telling me, so I didn't see the cop here and there. The cops show up, and I go walk like this. And it's like I was seeing if he would deploy a weapon, at which point I might have charged him and attacked him with physical violence. And if he would pull a weapon, maybe I'll go for the weapon and use that on the cops or something like this. Do you understand? So it's like, it was like the West was like, oh, go ahead and pull it, understand? And that was a trigger. I was waiting for him to pull a weapon out to close the distance, get the weapon, and use it on him possibly. I mean, I'm not threatening, I say I was planning to. But in my drunken stupid, I can see how something like that could have ended up happening. So what I am saying is this. When the cops are up to you, and I've been drinking, and at first was 3 of them, so okay. And my focus was, I go like, what, understand? And I'm ready to fight him, understand? And because they didn't go, oh, what? It's like, that could have been a fight. So what made it not be a fight was then not escalating, okay? So when the cops showed up, I had been down drinking, and I was tired of the state, which the Swedish police is an extension of the state, and they have involvement in this persecution program. And they put cuffs on me, taking me to the psych ward, because I'm speaking the truth about what's happening to me. Okay? Now, when the cops up, tell the truth, in my drunken stupidity, and I've been pulling up on the cops, going looking for cops, and being mad at the cops, okay? I went to the police station if there were any cops in there. And I was looking to confront them, understand? There were no cops in there. I leave, I get to another place where there was smoke. And I wasn't paying attention, I was kind of like looking down here and I had a hat. a bad situation awareness. And the cops are up to them. And I go like, what? Understand? They said, what do you want? Okay. And I wasn't just like pausing. I was enraged and feeling ready to fight them, understand? And what made it not be a fight is that they weren't escalating that moment in time. Because if they would have deployed a weapon, so basically my thing was, is that what do you want? And if you put it in Duke's up like they will come at me, I might have started using violence on them, understand? Okay. I go like, what do you want? If you would have come at me like he's about to attack me or use a weapon, pull out a weapon, I might go, oh shit, he's gonna use a weapon and charge him and attack him with physical violence, understand? Okay. Now, what made it not happen, that it was some violence, is I go, what? And he didn't go, oh yeah, or get in my face or put his hands up or pull his fighting stick or something like this. Because in the way that was, that could have been a trigger for me working to close the distance and attack him before he could use the weapon on me. If I go like, what do you want? And he gets a weapon because he's about to attack with it, in that situation, I might have felt I used self-defense on him. And I told him that. It's like so anyways, the point, after coming home from the drunk tank, where they didn't escalate, I watched a review of the footage. I didn't notice this in the moment, but one of the cops flanking me had deployed a taser like this. So that my focus was, as I was sitting on the desk, and my feeling was, what do you want? And if he would have gone this or put a weapon, charge him, and fucking attack him. If he brings a weapon, get the weapon, I use it on the cops or something like this. So it's like, make my day, punk, understand? Like the old Western movies. Where like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm cool, and wait for it to get close and suck and punch him, understand, or something like this. Which I could have done to a cop. If they come up to me and be like, hey, man, I gotta check out, bang! How about check that, bitch? Or something like this. I mean, I could be that type of guy if I wanted to. But that's not how I operate. I have some principles. Where it's like, basically, in so many words, like, if you want to fight me, pull a weapon, okay, see? And that's how I know you want to do. And it'd be like, oh, why are you scared or something like this? And I had a one line I didn't get to use either. Was that if I notice, oh, are you scared or something like this? But here's the point. So my point is, I'm not threatening anything and say I was planning to attack with violence and break the law. But in the moment where the cops showed up, 3 of them, and I have been harassed as usual. I'm a total the government. I don't like tyrants like the redcoats, understand? Like the Fighting Force have been oppressed to us by the state. I don't like state representatives. I don't like the police. They've been instrumental in this persecution 2.5 into all these years and being involved in it themselves, okay? And anyways, the point. So I've been out in public. I've been drinking. I was extra upset about the supermarket harassment and people being sent to go where I am, harassing me, talking to me. And the cops denying evidence of a doctor doing something wrong by signing papers to the cycle. Because I know that when I was talking to her about such a way, the signs of mental illness. And there were cops there, and they had body cams, I reckon. And I've been trying to get the body cam footage so I can prove, see, I wasn't acting crazy from the doctor, but they said I need to go to the psych ward. They won't give it to me, okay? And the excuse is it's through another agency or something. That's when I asked them one time. And they wouldn't give it to me. So, anyways, the point. So that day, when I had been drinking and harassed, I was drinking after going from the dentist. And I got too drunk. Most of the time if I drink, I don't get that drunk. I don't get drunk at all, actually, as a matter of fact. But I've been downtown being harassed. I pulled up on the cops. I went to the police station upstairs looking for a cop to confront me, they understand. And I go knock on the door. There's a guy that's not dressed like a cop. I go and say, I'm with the cops for this. Understand? I pulled up on them, on the address, understand? They showed up, all men with guns outside my door, put cuffs on me, understand? I went to the police station one time and asked them when there's 2 cops and 1 woman, 1 man, within 10 feet, both of them have guns on their hips, understand, in a holster, and all kinds of shit on them in there. And if they wanted to fight, they could have jumped right there, understand? I walk in there, I pull up on them alone, go to the police station, ask about body cam footage, okay? If they would have wanted something, they could have jumped right there, get physical, we'll see what happens, understand? They didn't make it physical that time, okay? Another time, they switch the address now, and I'm drunk and mad about being too nice for this. I pull up on the cops, I go to the police station, the address, walk upstairs looking for where the cops understand. Where's the cops? You go have receptionist there, whoever. I don't see any cops there. I knock on some door, some guy opens it, not dressed like a cop, and I go, where's the cops like this? It's supposed to be in this building, the police house. They don't have cops right here now, it's on some other floor. I go, okay, whatever, take care, guy, whatever. Okay. So it's not the guy I was upset with. I was looking to confront cops that day, not to do something legal to them, but it's like just felt like getting close to the cops and confront what I've been doing before. It's like they're not there. I go somewhere else. I sit outside the supermarket. As usual, I get harassed by the Swedish state by proxy. If it's not the police that show up to harass me for this gang stalking persecution program, it's a government program, then it's civilians in the supermarket. And they don't do anything to stop that. But if I'm reactive abuse or something, I go nuts from the criminal targeting, they're there to put cuffs on me and take me somewhere, understand? But they're not stopping people from driving an autistic person insane with abuse that of a criminal nature consists long term. But it's like, let's have a secret program poisoning an autistic person, work to exaggerate the fix new information problem, okay, and harass them daily. And a normal autistic person can have a problem being left alone with like meltdowns and anger and losing the temper and having problems. But let's harass this person 24/7 and recruit people to stalk them and poison them and target them all kinds of ways. And then sooner or later, the person kind of gets unhinged. I'm ready to bite people's heads off, stuff like this, like a livid rant, okay? It'd be the person, let's get them in the psych ward. And it took years of daily harassment until the person became that volatile and emotional. And every person that's not even autistic, I've been doing a better job dealing with this than the average Christian would have, and the average person, okay? The average person would have been a drug addict by now, locked up somewhere, or dead, okay? If they've gone to what I got to with this game soccer program. So, anyway, when the cops showed up there, so it's like, long story short, I've been at a dentist. I leave the dentist, I got like raw gums, okay? And I go, let's go, I'm not recommending this as health advice. Go to the liquor store, get some vodka, use it as a mouthwash. And I'm not recommending that for other people who got this problem. I'm just telling you, like one time I thought for good luck, let's rub my shoulder 3 times. Instead, I'm recommending people who want good luck to do that. No, I'm just letting you know. At this point in time, I thought I gotta get some vodka and use it as mouthwash. And I sit in public park, kind of cover to drink vodka and use it as a mouthwash. And then after some time, I'm like, oh, okay, this happened before the car show up and pour my alcohol out. So I feel that it's like if I walk home with this open container of alcohol that I drink out of the cop shop, they're gonna want to pour it out. And I'm not going to lose it. So the bottle that I had was to finish the bottle before walking home. It was half a liter of vodka, okay? So I finished half a liter bottle of vodka. And sure enough, I quickly got a lot drunk, okay? A lot more drunk than I had been intending to get. And there was one of these caregiving staff that I talked about before. I felt that they were talking for the program. They just happened to show up, drive past me on a bicycle, and I started chasing after them. And he said, oh, they're a coward. They want to get on a bicycle, get away from me. He said, whatever, his support. I go to like a bench, I sit down there, I go light a cigarette, I have like a hat on, and it's like my situation where this was not there. There's 3 cops that show up, and it's I'm noticing the biggest cop, that's the closest and the biggest, and I was tunnel focused on him, like tunnel vision on him. And what I did, I got enraged, I stood up and be like, what do you want? I said, what do you want? Okay. And if he would have gone like this or pulled a weapon, I might have charged him and attacked him with violence at that point, understand? See? And I go and say, I know you want to pull a weapon on myself like this. And he goes, no, I don't. And I go, no, you do. Okay. And he goes, no, I don't. And he didn't. And I let him know there's like, I have a right to self-defense. If you start attacking me, I'm ready to defend myself. Okay. So if he wanted to have a fight with me, he could have started attacking me right then and there. See? Because I let him know. I'm ready to defend myself, which means physical violence and self-defense legally. So say, unless you get, I'm ready to defend myself, use self-defense. But unless you get physical with me first and attack me, I'm not going to do something. Which means if that cop wanted to fight me with his 2 buddies, he could have gone, oh, well, the guy told me, if I want to street fight this guy right now, get physical with him and put my hands on and start attacking somebody else. And I go, okay, I'm ready to defend myself. You guys attack me, I'm ready to defend myself. They didn't start attacking me when I said that. And I go, I know you want to use a weapon on me, so I was ready for him to pull a weapon, okay, to attack me. Do you understand? But he didn't do that, okay? Now, I was thinking that if I analyze it in hindsight, if he would have pulled a weapon, like gotten a taser off his chest or deployed his baton or pepper spray, in my drunken stupor, I might have gone as soon as I see him reaching, sprint close the distance and attack him physically. Okay, like fly to the elbow strike to the cranium, or a flying kick, or if he's got a baton, get the baton, hit him, whatever. Stuff like this could have happened hypothetically. Knowing how drunk I was and mad, is that this is, I'm not saying I was planning this, but I could see how that could have happened if he would have acted differently. Now, coming home from the drunk tank after 8 hours, watching the review of the footage, I see that one of the cops, I didn't see this in the moment, had pulled a taser on the side and had it already. And I think it's good that I didn't see that in that moment. Because one reason is I had lost the opportunity to ask him, are you scared? Okay. Okay. It's like, oh, it's like, it's not enough if it's 3 of you want to have a taser too or something like that. So, well, anyway, maybe another time I encounter police again. It'd be interesting to see how the next Mike's meeting the police plays out. So, I've wrestled with cops before, understand? I've been hurt. I got injuries in my body from wrestling with cops. I have multiple cuts injuries from after drug cop wrestling, is that I'm cuffed on my back and they yank me, pull me up by my arms and create rotator cuff tears, understand? Like, and I've had that problem, okay? So, I don't know if I would do that to another person. If I would be, they'd be always damages, so like, you need to pay this person böter for like 500,000 crowns or something like this because you get them injured or something like this. I don't know. But anyway, support. And all the other abuse I got from cops tell me like that I'm shit and should be treated like shit, as they said, threatened by police. I've been threatened by police. So how I feel about treating police is pretty much like the founding father felt about it's how the founding fathers felt about the British Red Coats, I reckon. That's about the same temperament. And I'm done. How long hold between two opinions? If the cops are evil tyrants, treat them as such. If the cops are evil tyrant minions of the deep state and abusing me and waging war on me, why should I not treat them as if people that are doing that? Okay. See? And I'm not threatening anything illegal in this live stream. Okay. So, here's the point. After coming home, I saw the footage that one had pulled a taser. And it's probably a good thing I didn't notice that in the moment. That's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing. Because I think if I would have saw it in the moment, if it wouldn't have led to me charging him or something like this, maybe at least give me one line, like an insulting comment. Be like, oh, are you scared or something like this? Because you got a taser. It's not enough you gotta be 3 people. You want to be 3 people and want to have a taser or something like this. So, anyways, the point. I did not retreat there. It's pretty much like, it's like, unless you attack me first, I won't attack you. But I have a right to self-defense. And they don't start attacking right then and there. Which means if they want to street fight me right then, they could have started attacking me, okay? And I let them know that I'm ready to defend myself if they started attacking me. And since they didn't, it's like, okay. And they're not escalating, and it's like, eventually it's like, from being enraged for a while, it's like I lose my rage. And okay, whatever, chill, sit down, and my mood changed. And I'm not mad anymore. So I didn't retreat there either. Okay. So anyway, back to
12, after the burning of Moscow in Russia. His 450,000 troops had conquered basically Moscow, but now they were retreating with winter coming, and they faced freezing, starving conditions in their march back to Poland. And this was a total logistical collapse. They were harassed by Russian partisans along the way, and the brutal Russian winter set in, and there was hypothermia and starvation, and by the time they got back to Warsaw, how many do you think were left of that 450,000-man army? Just a few thousand. It was tragic. One of the greatest collapses in terms of a retreat.
as much as you refuse to watch it, go softly. Okay. a raging tempest. See, so it's like I went to the police station one time, pretty please, very like kind of just very calm and mellow and meek and friendly and polite and be like, I'd like to know how I can get border camp footage. Okay, I wasn't in there like, fuck you guys over this. And it's like, I didn't, I never got the evidence, okay? Now, they have a responsibility for being involved in crimes against me and responsible for me not having evidence to prove that. Because for some reason, I can't get the border camp footage. The second time, I was drunk, raging in a mood. And when they're looking for a cop, and I was really livid and wanted to get a piece of my mind, let know how I feel about stuff. And there were no cops in there. And um, yeah, that is important too. I don't need to be drunk to be courageous, liquid courage. I have normal courage. I don't need to be drunk to be aggressive, to get aggressive. I don't need to be drunk to have courage, okay? As a matter of fact, I've noticed that if I get drunk, or if I drink alcohol to the point where I'm not drunk, it might make me more like, kind of just feel like having a good time now and not be like mad about stuff and fighting things and stuff. That way I support. Oh, I've been criticized before and mocked by people who go like, oh, you love how you're so back and forth about this. Because I guess sometimes I'm at home enraged by what the cops had done to me before. And then another time I'm calm and not live it anymore. And I see a cop and I'm friendly and kind of chill, okay? And I've been criticized for that. So it's like I'm picking now aggression towards the Swedish police and look at them as enemies. So nobody can criticize me all night to just like all over the border back and forth. Sometimes I'm mad at cops, sometimes I'm not mad. Okay, I'm picking that they're my enemies, okay? See, people are criticizing me. I love how so back and forth for this. Okay, yeah. So here's the point. I pick my attitude, okay? And I got fed up with being abused, bullied, and tyrannized. And here's the point. And it's like, I'm not threatening anything illegal. I didn't threaten anything illegal. I'm saying I was drunk once the cops show up, and I would, if you attack me, I'm ready to defend myself. But I won't attack you unless you attack me first, and I believe I have right to self-defense. Which means if they want a street fight, then they know that they just got attacked, and I start defending myself. They didn't, okay. See? You understand? So, maybe next time walk up and just get heads on and try to suck up and stuff for this. The cops a lot of times they like to use unfair advantage for this. Everybody support. My point is this. My attitude is I have to look at the Swedish state as what they are. Okay. Plus I've been too friendly and gentle and soft, and that just gets abused, understand? Meaning it's like if I'm having meekness and long suffering and exhibiting my easily provoked and stuff, they just get worse. I support. I've also had caregiving staff tell me for this gang stalking persecution in my own home. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Get caregiving staff at told my own home for this gang stalking, which means people have a job to serve and come clean with me in here. They've been put up by the program, I believe, to start targeting me with psychological warfare in my own home. Okay. They've been told to target me in my own home for the program. And I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't have to tolerate that. So if they want to gamble with keep doing that in my home, I decide how I respond to that. Which means I can decide I'm not letting get away. I'm not letting them leave this home today, having bullied me, without being confronted about the bullying. Okay. See? And they can't control that. They can't decide if they can control if they're gonna take orders to bully me in here covertly, but they can't control how I respond to that. And I could confront them a little, a lot, sooner or later. Okay. See? I've confronted people live on this YouTube channel before. There's a person that's stalking me in this city. I saw him stalking me again. I ran across the street and I got close to him. I had been drinking that day either. I had my body cam on. Wanted to get his camera. And he looked real scared of this. Okay. See? Same there. Maybe secretly I was hoping that he would throw a punch. Do you understand? Maybe when I saw this stalker that's been stalking me, this gang stalker that's been stalking me, walk across the street and I run across the street and work to get the border cam on to document him as a stalker. Maybe I was hoping he got scared when I got close to him. Recall. Maybe some part of me was hoping that it would just like let's look real scared, but as I pushed me to throw a punch off like this. So I could break his cranium with elbow strikes and knee him in the balls, throw him on the ground, and then ground and pound him. It's like, do you understand? But it's similar to with the cops. I got in a mood where it's like, I'm not certainly not worried about what this motherfucker's going to do in terms of physical stuff. And possibly a little bit hoping that he would try something. Okay. See? So anyway, here's the point. And I didn't break the law there. I mean, I saw a stalker that's been stalking me, one of these people, gang stalkers, across the, oh, here he is again being sent out to walk where I am, okay? He's a stalker. I got a border cam running, and I want to make sure that I'm documented this guy's stalking me again. So nobody can say I'm paranoid if I see him another time in life. Go, yeah, this the guy keeps showing up where I am all the time. Well, you're paranoid crazy. But I have videos of him showing up all the time when I'm outside. So anyways, the point. I see him on the side of the street. I run across the street. He's walking here, and I got my body cam. So I kind of turn my body to have the camera on him and get closer like this. And he just looks like scared on the side. Okay. And maybe I was hoping he would try some shit to understand. It's like I'm not gonna attack him or like just start throwing punches or something like this. But maybe somebody was hoping that this stalker, when he can tell us like I'm documenting that he's a stalker, that he would do something where I would have the right to use violence in self-defense. Okay. See? Legally. Do you understand? They'd be like, oh, I know that if somebody punches in the face, Swedish law, you can punch them back in the face to defend yourself. Right away. If somebody punches you can punch them back to defend yourself, kind of. But so it's like if a guy's like a stalker, I get in his face, but you're a stalker. Maybe I hope he tries to throw a punch so I can punch him. Okay, I know I have a right to self-defense. So it's like now here's the point. So how I operate is like a day-to-day, moment-to-moment, case-by-case basis. Okay, there's principles and there's moods. There's whims, there's principles. There are certain things that I don't like to do. I like to maintain the more order, the more hacker. So I've seen caregiving staff tell me code bullet attacks in my home. And I believe that the reason they've been talking about covert bullying tactics in my home is they've been recruited by the gang stalker to do so. And I'm not saying, once again, I'm not even risking like a case win by like slander information. Because there's been two caregiving firms, the old one and the new one. And it's like at least, it's got to be like 4, 5, 6, 8 people work for caregiving firm. And sometimes there's a new one that's not working, somebody else on the vacation stuff. So that if I go the caregiving firm, it's not enough for someone to go, okay, I know who he's talking about really. Okay. So anyways, the point. Which means info was wrong. So I do believe the caregiving firm has told me for the gene shopping program. And that's why they covertly bullied me. And one of these women, one of the way that they bullied me, king staff member, was I look away. I don't like to look at people in the face. I look in the camera right now, okay, I say, ooh, okay. But I don't like looking people in the face too much. Okay, it gives me some tension, nervousness. So yeah, I look away. I look at the wall. I look at them, maybe they ask something. I look away. And then they ask me, did you see something scary over there? They walk off like with a chuckle. Okay. That's bullying. They're her going like, how you looking scared? That's bullying. She asked an autistic person that was eye contact if I'm scared. If I saw something scary over there. And then like walks off chuckles. It's bullying tactics. Okay. And I believe that this type of behavior from her and other caregiving staff, it's because they've been put up at the point to do so. And they're gonna have been told lies, like, okay, you're gonna do these things to make Mike feel abused, humiliated, and bullied. And it's like, don't worry about him being fed up with the bullying because he's scared of you, okay? And he would never try to stand up to you. And if he did, there wouldn't be his standing up, wouldn't be something to worry about. They've been told some lies, okay? It's like, this guy couldn't harm a fly. What they've been told, I believe, the caregivers have, because it's like reverse engineered. I've seen people behind closed doors within 15 feet of me targeted with cold bullying tactics, which shows the crazy delusional and believe some kind of lie. Okay? Because most of the people are lost of Satan, which makes them cowards, which means a lost person has to have a false insecurity. They need to believe, right or wrong, that they're 100% safe. Do you understand? It's like, if they knew that they risk being confronted like this if they take orders to bully me in here, that would prevent them from even doing that once, okay? If they realize that they risk being confronted by me the same moment that they start taking orders to bully me in here, they wouldn't do it because they lost people, most of them. And even if they were Christian, most Christians are cowards, which means they had to get them in here to bully me in my home. They need to have been told that it's like, yeah, you can bully him and he's scared of you. He would never stand up to you. And if he tried to stand up to you, his standing up would be something to worry about. Couldn't harm a fly. If he tried to, he couldn't do it. That type of stuff. Is that they must have been told something like that. It's like, this guy couldn't harm a fly if he wanted to, would never try to. Okay. Or something like this. They gotta boil down to that. They gotta boil down to that. And they have no excuse to claim ignorance either. Due diligence. I have a YouTube channel being a Christian top in the city. And I go, these people get recruited, told to put on a t-shirt, use certain words around me, to speak in command language to me, to piss me off, to do this and use triggers. Okay? And it's like a lot of the behavior that I felt taught by are like triggers that have been harassed by cyber stalkers online. See? Oh, Mike hates people speaking command language. KG staff end up like shoehorning in speaking command language, okay? Where I go say, I gotta go fill up the water. Oh yeah, you do that or something like this. It's like, yeah, do that. It's like it's shoehorning in command language that I've been harassed by and people know that I hate. Okay? This is my house. I'm the alpha here, understand? I'm the boss dog in here. I'm the head. Do you understand? And the caregiving staff, they are serving me. See? Their job is to serve me. Okay? I have needs. They've been contracted. This guy has certain needs. You're paid to serve him and help him. See? Okay? Which means I could have been more asshole towards him. Hey, you over there, get this or something like this. I could have been acting more like that. Because they're paid to help me in here. I'm not paid to help them with stuff. Okay? So it's like, but it's like, oh, gotta start doing this. So basically, that's the type of stuff. It's like things that have been harassed by people on YouTube. Like, oh, Mike does like people go sing for us in the chat or give us 10 push-ups. And it's like, oh, I don't like that. It's commanding language. People writing as if they can tell me what to do. Like, and then there's be like a trigger that I've been harassed by that online. And it's like, I hate when people talk like that, command language. And it's like the caregiver staff show up. And it's like shoehorning in to be like, I go do this, ja du gör det, så ja gör det. Det är här, jag går och fyller skurvatten, ja gör det. Och så gör det. It's like, wait a minute, okay. And a few times, it's like I made a point, it's like I go fill the water, I go, you do that. I go, no, you know what, I go do something else first. Because I can tell what to do. It's like, since they can't actually get me to submit and it's like they work a part of it. It's like preparation rituals where they're working to be able to present me as weak to other people. So it's like there's people that don't like that they're a bitch made slave by the deep state. They don't like that I'm a free man and I don't submit to people. Okay, I'm not a good submissive little boy, and I don't let people dominate me. Like Ben and Holthouse have been corrupted by the church like a weakling. So it's like they don't like that. It's like, since we can't get Mike to submit to us, all we can resort to is work to perception manage and make it look as if Mike is submitting when he's not. Okay? And I play games. So, anyways, the point. And it's like you can choose who you believe in this world. I'm telling you, you risk severe consequences if you get in here and start targeting for this persecution program. If people are rude, disrespectful, and target me on homeless in some way, they risk being confronted by right then and there. Or they risk being confronted sooner or later. So it could be in the moment, a little bit later, this way or that way. Okay. And yeah, so I've been told by caregiver staff with cold bullet tactics. And I have a right to get a consequence to that. So here's another title. I called gang stalk on the phone once. Okay, one of the people that told me COVID knows his double abuse tactics. And I didn't feel like confronting that person in the moment. I called him on the phone and go, it's like cuss him out. Like, you're a filthy freak, coward. You were passive aggressive to me. You tried it again, buddy. There'd be some strong consequences to it. Okay. And anyway, it's a point. And then it's like, I hear later on, it's like, oh, Mike, they're just threatening. And maybe the cops get involved if you do something like that again. It's like, threatening. If I go, if, like, you have bullied me. If you bully me again, I'll give you some strong consequences to it. There'll be consequences. How is that? That's not a criminal threat. It's like, stop pretending like consequence means illegal violence and only that. Okay? Do you understand? It's like, this is the type of stuff that I deal with. It's like, I make a stream and I go like, I'm not gonna let people stalk, harass me. If you do, you might get confronted by me. If you're one of these people that told me for this program I see in the supermarket run into you, you're there shopping with your wife or kids, I don't care. You might be confronted from them. If you're a caregiving staff member that have told me before, bully me on home, and it might be like that you got away with a few times, I didn't react to it. But maybe 3 months from now, I run into the supermarket, they shop with your wife and kids, or girlfriend, and you get confronted right then and there. I'm live at rail stream and be, oh, here's what is, hey, you bullied me before, don't you have to do that again or something like this? Do you understand? And or be like, hey, this one is people that I felt bullied by in the city. I'm not told a bit of total gang stalking. Okay? Is that illegal? So what would that be? If I'm in the supermarket and I see somebody's bullied me before, and I put the camera and go, you bullied me before, what's that? That being confronted. See? So if I go, people who stalk and harass me risk being confronted for doing so, how is that a criminal threat? Stop pretending. Because I actually talked to a gang stalker that had targeted me, and it's been ruminating, making me more and more angry over time. And I got in the mood for different reasons. And I called my phone and I cussed him out and go, you told me with passive aggressiveness before. And he denies it. And I go, no, you did. And then here's what I think about you, okay? It's like, you're a piece of crap type of person, this and that. And I go, he said, if you try something like that again, you'll be confronted. Or like, this be consequences, okay? See? If you bully me again, there'll be consequences. If you try doing that again, there'll be consequences. And I hear back, it's like, oh, maybe the cops will get involved next time if you do something like that again. It's like a bitch, please, understand? It's like, I believe that if they had a audio record on that phone call, I wasn't breaking the law. It's like, because tell somebody that if they bully you again, there'll be consequences. How is that illegal? It's like, oh, it's threatening. But it's not that saying there'll be consequences means physical violence consequences. Do you understand? Okay. I mean, do you understand? It's like if somebody tells me, Mike, if you keep getting drunk all the time, there'll be consequences. You're eventually going to have liver damage or become alcoholic addicted to alcohol, maybe end up locked into alcohol addiction. Do you understand? So it's not that consequences means physical violence and only that. So if I go and tell somebody, you bullied me before, if you bully me again, there'll be consequences. That doesn't mean, that is not threatening legal stuff. Because consequence doesn't only mean physical violence consequence. Okay? If you pull up a word with consequences, it's not going to say means physical violence. Okay? See? So, I mean, a consequence can be, okay, maybe I'll make a video on it next time. That could be a consequence. If you bully me again, there'll be consequences. Well, what could the consequence be? The consequence could be make a video, talk about the person's bullying. And I'd be like, yeah, this person told me for this gang stalking program in this way, okay? And maybe they'd be like, oh, I don't like Mike making videos about how I'm told him for the program, okay? Did you understand? So that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna let people bully and abuse me on home. There'll be consequences. Okay. Meaning, if people get in here, take orders to bully me and mess with me, there'll be consequences. Either to the program generally that they work for. Okay. Which means, oh, I'm gonna make more videos about Stalked by the Feds, a fake TI, and that hurts the program. That has this person be a fake TI acting online. Okay. Or the individual themselves, like the fly monkey, be like, maybe I can figure out a way to give them a consequence that's not illegal, but it's like, do you understand? It'd be like, so there's ways you can give consequences to bullies. And it's not that the only consequences you can give are criminal ones, illegal ones. So when I say consequence, I don't mean illegal ones.
In military history. And then here's one from more recent memory. 1991, during the Gulf War.
So if you're into this, it's like watch my RL streams. You never know what could happen on my RL streams. If I end up in a street fight, fighting the cops, that sounds okay. So I'm not threatened to start a fight, but I've been threatened by police before. Okay, and I've had them do bad things to me and hurt me physically. Things like this. So I tried to murder me too, I believe. Would they pull up in a tinted window car to do jump at me? I think they were hoping I had a weapon on me, would pull it so they could shoot me. I think they were hoping they could provoke a reaction. Like me thinking this is not cops pulling up on me and have me pull a weapon so they could pull it down and shoot me and be like, oh, we need to shoot him. So here's the point. What is this? Subscribe to my TikTok, Instagram, Kick, and if you watch this on YouTube, you should already be subscribed here. Because I do have Russia sometimes. Okay. And it's happened on Russia streaming that I'm about this close to getting a street fight with someone. And what made me not get in a street fight is the other person didn't make it happen. Okay. So here's the point. I've been confronting perp gang stalkers before at Westerns. I had a cop show up, and it came about this close, something happened. And it didn't happen. But I did get cops put on me and then taken into a police car and drove into the wrong tank, okay, which is like a small thing compared to like serious prison time. But so it's like you never know what you're gonna get. So it's like if you subscribe to my Well streams, if it happens I get in a street fight, okay, with a perp gang stalk in the supermarket, outside the supermarket, or the cops show up and attack me. If something like that happens, it's not unlikely I'll be live streaming or run streaming at the time that it does. And then later on, maybe the video will get pulled. So, okay. So anyway, it's the point. If you want to see whatever happens and doesn't happen, make sure you watch my live streams. Okay. And I don't know how it will play out if and when next time the cops get sent to show up and make me harassed or stalk me or they show up again to mess with me. If I be in a calm mood and be like, hey, how you doing, officer? I'm on my way home. And it's like, I just want to be left alone on my way home. And if you go, they understand. Or if I be like, fuck you, I'm tired of your shit, leave me alone. I don't know what my mood would be next time I see the cops. Okay. And I wear my heart, my sleep a lot of times. And I don't know how they will operate. So it could be like, even if my best pay, they will jump and start attacking and stuff like this. So if, no matter what happens, it might be on camera, whatever happens or doesn't. Okay. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I've been threatened by police before. They've been part of this gang stalking persecution program. Okay. And I do believe that they've been stalked. And how they might cover that up is just statistical probability, the likelihood, how often it happens I do an RL stream. And I leave maybe once every 2 weeks my home to go shopping. And the statistical probability that it's like I go shopping and the cops show up where I am in this small town, just happen to show up there and want to talk to me, are very low. Which means I want to argue that it's targeted, like harassment. It's like the cops have a thing for Mike size out RL streaming, get there and create an uncomfortable circumstance. Okay? I won't look crazy to argue that, understand? I won't look like a parallel person, as far as I'm concerned. Because like, what are the chances that we have that many police interaction on camera? It's what I said, well, Mike, you dress different or something like this. That's our excuse. It's like you're wearing camel pants. Mike, you have camouflage pants. Okay. I see people all the time wearing camouflage pants, burkas, no hair, blue hair, leather jackets with studs on it. I don't see these people put over by the cops for being dressed weird, okay? So let's say you see a cop car parked or 2 cops standing somewhere, and there's somebody weird, dressed really weird, just walk on the town square. I don't see the cops approach them and be like, hey, you're wearing strange clothes and sunglasses, I want to pull you over and talk to you. Okay. So anyway, I'm a part of gang stalking and the police are involved. Okay. I gotta finish up.